That's Dave Hellman, NFL insider, the one and only Joy Taylor.
Tap it. Tap that. Sorry about that. I just wanted to do that. I'm sorry.
That's the Eagles' all-time rushing leader. 252 Live, LeSean, Shady, McCoy. Okay, let's get right to it because the surprising all-star game of the weekend, and it's very surprising, it's taking place in London. Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, New York Giants. That is the only matchup this weekend with two teams with winning records. So now the question is very simple. How far can this man, Aaron Rodgers, carry the Packers? He lost Davante Adams, the greatest receiver in football, but still is 3-1. I get it. He goes to championship games and he loses. He's done that 4 times, 2014, Seahawks, 16, Falcons, Niners, Bucks. He goes to championship games and he loses, but I don't look at it like that, y'all. I look at it like this. You can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. And every time Aaron Rodgers gets himself to a championship game, that's himself buying himself a lottery ticket. Now, when it comes down to it, Aaron Rodgers will get the job done in my mind because when it comes down to the teams this year that are ahead of Aaron Rodgers, it's not that many that are all that good. If I look at it, only Tom Brady has more NFC championship game appearances than Aaron Rodgers. So when it's all said and done, I think Aaron Rodgers will be up top at the Super Bowl this year. That's where I stand. I'm moving. I'm taking it to the desk to land with you, Shady McCoy. Aaron Rodgers, how far does he go this year?
I think this year, they'll go to the playoffs. We can't see Aaron not in the playoffs. I can't see that. You guys can't see that. But that's where it stops. It's not about his wide receivers are young and they're not gelling together on offense. It's not that. It's the same story we always see. If last year, they had the first seed and they had
Davante Adams.
Yeah, Davante Adams. How can I miss his name? Davante Adams. They had him, and you couldn't go to the championship. You lost. Soon you played the 49ers at home, got bullied, got pushed around, and lost to Jimmy G. So my thing is, I can see them going to the playoffs. I just can't see nothing other than that. Just one game, one and done. You ever play one and done basketball? One and done.
I think they're going to go to the playoffs like they always do. I mean, I agree with Shady. We know what Aaron Rodgers is. He's back-to-back MVP. He's always in the playoffs. They always win the division. They run through the NFC North, as they should, because there's not a lot of competition there. And he's going to look great, and he's going to put up amazing numbers, and he's going to wow us in the regular season. And I'm not being sarcastic. This is what Aaron Rodgers does every single year. But you just lined it up. They don't get to the dance. They get right there, and boom, you're not allowed in. You got the wrong shoes on, or whatever.
Right.
They don't get in. But also, I just really don't know how far he's going to take them with less talent at the wide receiving core, but there's the same amount of talent that they always have. Like, the Packers are always this. There's nothing new. They're 7th in rushing yards. They have a good rushing game. He's been able to get it to his receivers. They're a decent offensive line. They're top 10 defense. It's just the same thing every year with the Packers. It's nothing new.
But maybe it's not the same thing, Joy. Maybe it's not. And look, part of this is me picking the Packers to get to the Super Bowl and not feeling great about it so far this season. But think about this. During this late career, I hate to call it a renaissance because Aaron Rodgers has always been great, but they drafted his replacement, right? They did that, and then he won back-to-back MVPs. So he picked his play to another level. During that period of time, and really for most of the post-Super Bowl years, this has been a team that was high-flying. You had Jordy and Greg Jennings and Davante Adams and all of those great receivers, and it was all about Aaron Rodgers in the passing game. If they're going to do it this year, I think it's going to look a lot more pedestrian. It's going to be because of a nice defense. It's going to be because of a great running game. They're top 10 in the league. Aaron Jones is the man. Dylan's got the biggest quads I've ever seen in my entire life. So that is a recipe. Chill. That is a recipe for playoff success, is it not? Like, I hate to call Aaron Rodgers a bus driver because he's not, but this is a formula where you're only asking Aaron Rodgers to make the plays that need to be made rather than doing everything. And so this is a less impressive-looking Packers team than what we've gotten used to right now. But maybe that is a recipe for better success in playoff football.
Joy, you said something incredibly interesting before the cameras turned on. You said that Aaron Rodgers gets a pass. Elaborate on that.
He gets the ultimate pass. How did their season end? Shady mentioned it. an L, but not just any old L. It was a way bigger L than the Cowboys season. We were talking about Mike McCarthy needs to be fired and Dak Prescott isn't the guy, and how could how could the Cowboys, whose season ends the same way every single year, end this way? The Packers were the best team in the NFC. They had the back-to-back league MVP, a Super Bowl champion winning quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, who we used to put in the same breath as Tom Brady, right? Devontae Adams, Matt LaFleur, Boy Wonder, and took the L at home at a place where you actually have home field advantage in Lambeau to Jimmy G and the Niners, who the Niners tried to replace. Like, it was a way more catastrophic loss, by the way, to the Niners, who didn't score an offensive touchdown in that game. So it was a way more catastrophic loss than the Cowboys loss. It's not even comparable. It should be expected for the Cowboys to lose that way. Not even a shot at the Cowboys.
For real quick, I thought she was being nice to the Cowboys. for just a second.
They weren't as good as a team as the Packers were.
But how about this, though? If you wanted to fight back, you could argue that in these championship losses that Aaron Rodgers has, 4 NFC championship losses, defense giving up 35 points per game. Shady, it does not matter how good you as a running back or how great your offenses are. If me as a defender, your linebacker for you is giving up 35 points per game, there's only so much you, or in this case, Aaron Rodgers, can do.
Joey just talked about it. He's getting a pass. You just gave him another pass. You didn't even know you did it.
How
so?
so?
Talked about the defense. Oh, I had a great year. But the defense.
Is that a pass or reality?
That's a pass. That same defense was there when y'all were the number 1 seed. That same defense was there when you was the MVP, back to back. We got to stop giving this guy passes. Every year, I always say it. You know what? He'll have a great regular season. He'll be the best. All type of passes. Everybody screaming how great he is. Double check signs everywhere, commercials. And then we'll get to the playoffs, and he arrives. Losses and losses and losses. So we got to stop giving this guy passes. Don't blame the defense.
But there's only Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady who in the last 10 years have had more championship success or championship appearances than Aaron Rodgers. So is that actually a pass, or is he not succeeding? Because he's doing everything better than everybody else in the league outside of the greatest player of all time and maybe the most talented player of all time.
Tom Brady has ruined football discourse, if we're being real. I've been saying that for years. And it's a credit to him. He's the GOAT for a reason, but the standard he has created, in my opinion, is borderline impossible to measure up to. Now, should Aaron Rodgers have gotten back? Aaron Rodgers should have been back in a Super Bowl. I don't even care if he wins it. Whatever. The fact that they haven't even been back since the one that they won in, the 2010 season? Yeah. That is a long time for a guy who has either been the MVP or been hovering around the MVP conversation. That's a long time for him to not be on the game's biggest stage. But I tend to agree with you, Emmanuel. And maybe it's my experience covering the Cowboys. That dude rips the heart out of the Dallas Cowboys every time he gets the opportunity. And I get it, Joey. But
most people do.
Okay.
Most good quarterbacks do that.
Aaron Rodgers single-handedly ended the seasons of 2 of the best Cowboys teams of the post-Super Bowl era.
True.
2014, 2016. Yeah. The throw that he made to Jared Cook in the 2016 divisional round, 3rd and 20. It's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. 2 plays before that, I got to say Jeff Heath's name on national TV, because how many opportunities did he get to do that? Safety blitz. He tackled me one-on-one, by the way. Any other quarterback would have dropped that ball and set the Cowboys up to end the game. Rodgers holds on to it. 2 plays later, he just breaks the Cowboys' hearts. So he can be that dude in the playoffs. Let's not. I know, it's been bad the last couple of years. There's no way around that. But he can do it, and that's my point. Is I think this might be a more well-rounded Packers team, even if the record's not as good.
Joy, speak to this, though, because Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, are they in the same bucket? Yes, no? What'd you say? Ben
They're
Roethlisberger,
both first ballot
Aaron
Hall of Famers. Have both had incredible careers. I don't think Ben took as good of care of his body as Aaron Rodgers has.
If I'm not mistaken, in Ben's last 12 years playing ball, he didn't go back to a Super Bowl. He went to 1 conference championship game.
Yeah, don't get me started on the Steelers.
Okay, so did you have the same kind of shame on Ben's playing career as you did Aaron Rodgers?
I think that the Steelers completely missed their Super Bowl window when they had the triple Bs.
Oh, yeah.
They had every opportunity to get back to the Super Bowl. And I think if we had an honest conversation about the Steelers, where we were frank about it, we would all probably agree. But I don't think we had that conversation about Aaron Rodgers because he is so talented. And it's not really a knock on Aaron Rodgers' talent or success or his legacy. But you have to be honest about how these things have ended. He does have postseason success. He just doesn't get to or win Super Bowls. He won
Mm-hmm.
one, and he hasn't been back. Those are the facts.
But are those facts unjust to his reputation if we are going to say
Or are we not holding him to the standard that we hold Ben Roethlisberger to?
We're not.
But how do you figure? Because Ben Roethlisberger didn't go his last 12 years to a Super Bowl, one conference championship. Aaron Rodgers has been to 4, Shady. So how do you not look at that and actually stand up and give him a round of applause instead of be like you're underachieving?
So wait. So I just want to ask this question. Are we putting Big Ben and A-Rod, are they in the same boat?
Accomplishments.
I'm just asking. If we put A-Rod and you got Big Ben, are they in the same boat? I'm just asking.
No.
Talent-wise, no.
no.
Okay, so right. So
But resume, yes.
Yeah,
Ben has
agreed.
2 Super Bowls.
yeah, I know, but not the resume
Talent-wise,
part.
no.
But just-
Talent-wise,
so if you
no.
talking about quarterback,
Yes, sir. Quarterback.
you're going to put A-Rod ahead of.
Yes, sir, I am.
And I would too.
I would
So
also.
when you keep going back-to-back MVPs, that's big.
But that's regular season achievements.
I know, but what I'm saying, so for you to be an MVP back-to-back, right, in the NFL, that's hard to do. And especially when we talk about quarterbacks. Quarterbacks is the only thing that people care about are wins and losses and championships. When we talk about quarterbacks, right? So my thing with A-Rod is when we want to put him up there with the Big Bens, and we put him with the Peyton Mannings and Tom Brady, because like for the longest, people were trying to put him with Tom Brady. I couldn't understand it. One guy, right, goes and wins championships.
Yes, sir.
On different teams, on the
Yes, sir.
same team. The other guy balls out during the regular season, and that's it. So I think my argument is just this. We got to give A-Rod his love, but we also got to hold him accountable because you can't go out there and ball out every year and then we get to the playoffs and you playing like Jimmy G or somebody, right? Without the wins.
Don't do that.
I'm just keeping
No,
it
I feel
real.
about Jimmy
I'm
G.
just keeping it
Well,
real.
speaking of giving quarterbacks their love, Shady, you're going to give Cooper Rush a lot of love
Oh, yes, I
coming
will.
up.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.